When we first moved to Tennessee, we kind of had this false image in our head at first. We had no idea how much city life was taking over, and honestly, it's kind of sad. But at the time, we lived in New York, and we had to leave a very bad situation behind. I quickly transferred my job, we found us an apartment, we packed up everything, and we hit the road.
We were very excited to arrive to our first Tennessee apartment. We made it cozy and created memories. However, we moved in without seeing the place or the location, eventually realizing it wasn't on our heart to stay there long term. We longed to be out of the city, surrounded by nature, desiring for a simple, slower paced life.
Huh?
They just don't get this spot.
Okay, sounds good.
Did you get the closets of both of them?
No. Oh yeah, I did the other one, yeah.
Make sure you do these closets.
Okay. Alright everyone, we're getting there. It's really not that much stuff. It's literally just a truck and this. And the house is pretty much empty. Well, the apartment, not a house, but you get the point.
Hey guys, so we're in the car right now, driving to our destination of our new house. Anything to add, Dylan?
I'm just grateful for a new place to call home, and hopefully this will be it for a while. That's my only wish.
Lydia's back here, crowded, and here is all of our stuff. So Dylan, what are you most excited for in our move today?
We were just talking about a lot of the pros of the new place, which you guys will see later on, but for me, like when we were living in the apartment that we just left, we didn't really open up windows and stuff because we didn't have a lot of privacy. There was neighbors on every side of us, and so I'm excited to have our windows open, as simple as it sounds. It's just crazy going from like city life to this atmosphere.
Back to country.
Because I used to live in the city all my life with my dad.
Really? Your whole life you were in the city?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really live in the country until
I lived in the country.
until I knew my stepdad. But before that, yeah, it was all city life for me. Hey everyone, so this is kind of first look. Not everything's set up. We don't even have a couch yet, but we just wanted to pop on and say we're settling in. Today's like the first day where we're here by ourselves. Shout out to my family for driving 2 hours to help us move everything in here. But yeah, it's looking good. Nice kitchen over there that my wife and my mom were working on the other day and today.
Yeah.
How you feeling so far? You love the new place?
I do. Well, my feet hurt.
Yeah, we got a different type of floor than you.
The floor's been hurting my feet. That's the only downside. So we have to get some slippers. But yes, I love the space. I love the outdoors. I'm excited to like drive around and see the nearby neighborhoods. And just, yeah, it feels homey.
Welcome back everyone. We have a new video finally. This feels really strange because we haven't done one of these in a long time. But we got some news.
So, as you can tell, hopefully, we moved.
Again.
Yeah, it's crazy because it doesn't feel like a year since we've moved last time. But we didn't move out of state, before anyone thinks that. We just moved an hour away, which is crazy. Yeah. So we just want to share the story of how that came to be. And so I'm going to start. So essentially, when we first moved into our apartment, we knew kind of pretty early on that we weren't going to renew because, as you guys know, like we just moved there without seeing it. We never saw the place. We didn't know the area. I honestly perceived that we were going to be in like farmlands. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's how we visualized Tennessee. We thought, oh, wow, there's a lot of like country and, you know, nature, trees everywhere. Mm-hmm. And obviously we knew of places like Nashville, but it's just crazy how much city life there is now. All these apartments being built. Yeah. You got, I don't even know what they're called, where it's like apartments, shopping centers, and like all these places being built. And it's
loads
sad.
And loads and loads of food stores and rundown areas. And so that's just not, honestly, like I was so excited to get in Tennessee because it was the peace of the Lord. But it was culture shock for at least a month of like, we don't know anybody. Like I didn't really love the area, but I didn't want to say that because the Lord brought us there. And it was just like a lot to take in because it wasn't what I was expecting. And we've lived in like populated areas, but it just was, I don't know, maybe it was just because it was more run down, honestly.
And a lot of our drives were super far besides my job because I was only like 13 minutes from my job, but everywhere else and everybody that we did start to meet was like 45 minutes to an hour away. And so that was kind of, it wasn't a problem we would do it, but that was a big thing for us too.
It honestly felt very isolating at times.
And then just, we were next to a massive highway, so you would hear traffic all the time. You would hear, honestly, gunshots in other areas surrounding us, people outside, like you'd hear everything. And it's just, I never had that before.
Yeah.
So.
And so we knew we weren't going to renew our lease, but we were thankful. And so it's something we would talk about kind of often. It would just kind of come up like literally 6 months into our lease. We'd be like, oh, I wonder where we're going to move. And it was hard because at that time we were honestly looking at it in a very like worldly wisdom mindset. And people could be like, oh, Gabby, is that really worldly wisdom when I'm going to say what I'm going to say? But this is how I felt eventually. Not at the time. But at the time we're like, okay, well, we need to balance it between Dylan's job and the church we're going to. Like it has to be like in the center. Which was hard because his job and the church are like an hour away. And so we're like, that doesn't leave us a lot of options of places. Especially because the in-between places aren't really the most family-friendly places.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the same as like our current town at the time of like kind of run down, not family-friendly. Like I like to go places and there's like kids outside. You know, like I want to feel like I'm living, that I'm not just like isolated in my little bubble. And I think that's my problem with cities. I like being close to, obviously, the places we want to go to and get out of the house, but I don't like the feeling of you're just in your own little bubble and, like, there's a million people around you that are in their own bubble and you're not really seeing people just live. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like when I see small towns, I feel like people are just, like, actually living. You know, they're outside where we're meant to be, and it's just, like, I don't know, it's really a different dynamic.
And so it's cool actually because we had this prayer wall in our room at the last apartment, and we had, you know, a bunch of different things. And one of those things was a map of the area we were in and all the surrounding areas. And we were just praying where we should go next. But also we even took some time to travel to some of these different places. And so this was obviously later on when we knew that the 1 year was coming up, we had to be out. And so now let's just kind of dive
forward.
Yeah, dive into the testimony.
So basically what happens is, like I said, we were kind of thinking biasly before worldly wisdom. So we were going to go visit his family. And I remember the Lord doing something in my heart, like right before we went to visit his family. And they're like several hours away. We're like driving. And I remember just feeling like, Lord, you know, I don't care, honestly. Like I care, but I don't. I just need to know that you're going to place us. And that we're not going to, like, have to pick it. And I know people could be like, that's so hyper spiritual. But I tell you, that was where my heart was at. And I feel like the Lord put that in my heart. For the Lord to just design our story of where we were going to go. Because that's just how I've always lived. Like, I've always wanted the Lord to place me where I'm supposed to be. I do believe God has people strategically. Especially in the times we're living in. And so, like, I was just like, God, I don't care how far it is from Dylan's job. I don't care how far it is from the church. I don't care how far it is from, like, these girls that I've been meeting with, like, in my town at that time. Like, I care about all those things, but, like, I'm not going to base it off that. Like, I want to base it off you. And so
I think the biggest thing was I didn't want to base it off of the church either, because that's where we were meeting a majority of the people that we were connecting with. And so there was a time where I think we were going to move there based on that or in that area. But then it was like, I don't want to base it off of that either. And so ultimately, we both just wanted to end up in a place that we'd actually like and desire.
Yeah, so you're just like, let's throw everything out the window. Like, God, where? Like, we're willing to drive far, whatever that looks like. So we get to his parents' house, and we eventually leave after a couple days of visiting them. And we're on the road driving home, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, I really love where, like, because their part of Tennessee is just way more mountainy and naturistic. I mean, I think all of Tennessee probably would be if there wasn't so much city life and things destroyed. And so, like, because they're in a smaller town, I was just like, wow, it's so cool seeing, like, these parts of Tennessee. Like, this is what I wanted when we moved out here, because I just like nature. I think we connect to the Lord better in nature. And honestly, this is all man-made anyways. Like, so.
In a non-new agey way.
Yeah, I just mean, that's a whole thing. So I won't get into it. But, so we were driving and eventually we get past this town. I'm not going to say the town because I don't want you guys knowing where we live. But we go to this town and all of a sudden Dylan's like, oh, should we take a detour? Like,
because
look at this town.
It's when we were starting to get like desperate. Like time was ticking. We got to start looking. And we were looking on Zillow for the longest time. And that was
I wasn't.
Well, I was.
Like, I'm not, dude.
That was getting frustrating. So this time I was like, let's just pull off a random exit.
Yeah.
And let's go look. And so we came across one house. It said for sale. And we're like, no, obviously.
And then I say, if only there was one that said for rent.
Yeah. And so we keep driving down the road. We take like a left.
And we're about to leave. We get back on the highway at this point, too.
And we came across this house.
Beautiful.
And it was for rent. There was a phone number. Didn't like see the price or anything, obviously. And I think it was a holiday at the time, so when we called, there was no answer at all.
Yeah, because it's funny, too, because Dylan wanted me to call right in the moment.
Yeah.
And it sounds hyper-spiritual again, but I was like, I had the thought, wait till tomorrow, and I forgot it was the holiday. And so they didn't pick up. But we didn't know where that was, like the vicinity. We just knew, like, you know, this is in the country. And that's something we had been really wanting. More so probably me. Mm-hmm. But, like, I think we both still wanted it, but I was like, no, I literally don't have peace anymore, like staying in the city. I feel like my peace is left. We need to leave too.
Yeah.
And so the next day, I end up calling her, and she answers immediately, and everything seems great. Like, it's in a decent price budget for us. Like, it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, which we didn't really care about bathrooms, and she's like, you can view it. And I'm like, okay, let's go tomorrow. So me and Dylan are super excited. We go to the house the next day. And what did you think?
I mean, at first, to be honest, I didn't really like the layout, but it was better than where we were at. And I liked the area. There was a nice park with a nice basketball court.
Walking distance.
I've been playing a lot of basketball, so that was like, you know, that popped out to me, obviously. And so I was willing to like sacrifice because it's bigger.
A lot bigger.
And I wouldn't be home much because of work, and she's home more, so I want her and Lydia to be able to feel free to go outside and safe. And
yeah, I honestly really did like it. I mean, it wasn't like this modern house or anything, which I didn't care about. I just wanted something more spacious.
It was more like a mini farmhouse.
Yeah, it really was. But it was 50% bigger than our apartment, and so to me it felt huge. And so I'm like, okay, it's not my favorite, but I just have peace about it. I like it. It's spacious. We can make anything look good. We did it with our first apartment that was super, like, old. And I just really liked it. And so we go to talk to her. Everything's great until we're like, yeah, but we can't move for 2 months. And she's like, well, honestly, I want it out sooner. And so after that, you know, all of our joy kind of left in that moment of getting in the car. And we were like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
And we just kind of were super fleshy. We go to church right after that, super fleshy. And there was that whole day.
Well, there were certain things. I mean, at this time, we didn't even have the money for like a security deposit, and so that was a whole thing as well.
Yeah, because it would have been $3,000 up front.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have.
And so, but here's the thing. When this whole thing happened, where we were driving, we got off the exit, we see this house, we call the lady the next day. It like made us, at least me, it made me think, okay, this is it. This is what God's doing. And I made a whole post about this recently because it's like, you can think like based on what you see, like, oh, God's doing something with this. But then all of a sudden, which we'll get into later on, he just blew our mind because it had nothing to do with that house.
But don't give it away.
But yeah, I won't give it away.
Yeah, so basically we're super fleshy and we're just like, what do we do? Because just like Dylan's saying, like, I kept praying, I want something organic. I want something organic. Like, Dylan had been looking on Zillow, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. Like, not that it's wrong. It's obviously not wrong to go looking at all. I'm not crazy.
I would send her stuff all the time.
Huh?
I sent you stuff all the
time. Yeah, and I would ignore it. Like, none of it stood out to me. None of it meant anything. I was just like, nothing pokes out. Like, it doesn't, whatever. And so, like, anywho, so we just take a couple days, and I'm just praying, like, Lord, okay, I know it's impossible, but anything's possible for you. Like, what do we do? And I just honestly felt fine about just pursuing this in faith of like, okay, let's just wait and see what happens. And so I talked to Dylan about it, and I think it's kind of honestly a blur. I think he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I think we waited maybe a week.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
we went to visit her again to get an application. So, and I was praying the whole time, like, Lord, if this is a closed door, close it right now before we go get this application, before we go drive an hour to go get it. And that's 2 hours of driving. Like, just make it clear. Because I was praying for words about our house. And there was things I received, like blue. I literally heard trees. So that's about it. Those were words. And so,
I mean, we're asking God for signs, obviously. And like, he knows the desires of our heart. So that's why I was fine with waiting, because I'm like, well, to me, this just seems like God's opening a door. Like, you drive off an exit and there's just the perfect house right there. And so I was fine with waiting. It was just, later on, weeks skip, and then eventually that door just closes.
Yeah. But I want to share something about that really quick. Because I tell you, I was intentionally praying for those 2 months. Like, I know sometimes we miss things because we're not listening and we're not being diligent. But when I tell you, I know God was speaking to me because God has been speaking to me in a very certain way recently, which I'm not sharing that because that's personal. But, like, I know I was hearing from God during this portion of time. Like, I know I was actively praying and seeking and surrendering and just being like, God, like, whatever your will is, but I'm going to hold on in faith. Like, I'm going to believe, not because it's like the best thing ever, not because I'm prosperity, but because I'm your daughter and I'm not going to be homeless, like, you're going to make a way for us. And like, the whole time I felt peace. The whole time I just like felt, just keep waiting. That's like all I would really get when I would pray. Keep waiting, keep being full of joy while you wait. And I tell you, like, I really, really thought it was God because of the fruit of it. Because sometimes, you hear something or you think you hear something and you can waver. There was no wavering during this except the initial first day.
Yeah.
But after we moved past that first day and just like pursued it and sent in an application, which again, we waited, like none of this was rushed. We didn't apply for like 2 weeks until after we first saw it. And so it was just this whole thing of faith. And so like, I felt like afterwards, like when I was like, okay, God, when the door shut, which I remember feeling led to reach out to her, and then she responded, I was like, okay, Lord, but why? Like, why did you have me wait all this time? Mm-hmm. Like, because I don't feel like I wasn't hearing you. Like, you made it clear in a lot of other ways that I was hearing your voice, and I honestly felt like it was the Lord concealing it from us, which I know sounds whatever, but I fully am convinced that the Lord concealed it and wanted us to wait, because if we would have kept looking elsewhere, we could have totally missed where we're at right now.
And that's where my whole attitude changed completely, because when we were waiting, in my mind, this is the place, this town is where God wants us. Like, we feel peaceful here, we like it here. And so when that door closed, I was devastated.
So devastated.
And I was mad at God, I was mad at her.
Oh, he was so fleshy.
I was so mad.
I was like...
But here's the thing. Like, in the moment I couldn't see it, but it's really just because when the door closed, I'm like, okay, what else is there? Now I feel like there's... Okay,
no time.
Do I just have to look? Like, I thought this is what you were doing, and if you're not doing this, then what are you doing? And with our time frame, I'm like, am I just supposed to pick a place that I like?
Yeah.
And so it kind of turned into that. We started looking again at all these different places. We were still...
Which we didn't want to do.
No. And so we found other places, other towns, and other directions that were in the country. We start looking at all these houses, apartments, and it's just like...
Bleh.
We can never pick one. It was too hard. I'm like... And then I kept telling her, I'm like, what's the point? This feels so rushed. This doesn't feel like God.
Yeah, he was honestly very convinced nothing was going to happen.
I thought...
He did not think we were going to find anything.
Yeah.
But that's testimony. I'm not saying that to be mean. But that's the testimony of God still coming
I'm the man
through.
and I'm the provider. So that's a terrifying feeling. Condemnation comes into the picture because, people look at you like, wow, you can't even like find a place for your family, or, I didn't want to live with people again. That was a fear of mine. Like, I don't want to I lived with so many people already. Like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, and we've had those seasons. If like any of you guys that are watching this have watched other videos, like we've had those seasons of like, not that we're not going to continue to suffer, but like suffering in terms of like living with others, and suffering in terms of like we were at a hotel one time for 10 days, or like suffering in terms, just that type of thing where like things have been last minute over and over and over again. So like I expected it to be last minute. That was my one thing when I saw this house of like, well, God, why would I see it 2 months early? Because like you've never really shown me something that early before.
No, it literally was last minute, which we'll get to.
Yeah. And so I was like, Dylan, like I know God is faithful. If we end up in a U-Haul and we don't know where to go, and I fully believe, I'm convinced that he would tell us where to go in the moment. But I think it's going to come before that. Like, I don't think it's going to be another one of those moments, because I feel like we've experienced that already, like, several times. But I could be wrong. Like, that could be the future, and then God does that again to remind us. I'm just saying, like, I did not feel like that's how it was going to, like, play out. I felt like God was going to show up and just show that it's not about, like, our hands and our work. Because, Dylan was working, but we just couldn't strive to get enough money in time.
Yeah.
Like, we could not make it happen. And we could not line it up. And so, like Dylan said, we were looking at houses, mostly online. Like, we didn't view many because, I don't know if we told you the timeline, but after we found out that original house was closed, it was like less than 2 weeks before we had to move.
Yeah.
It was less than 2 weeks.
That's scary.
I think it was actually 10 or 11 days or something like that. And so I was just like, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen. I believe you concealed this. I'm not going to like strive. But also, what do I do? And, like, Dylan was, like, freaking out, like, so scared. And I'm like, what do we do about this? Like, And so, yeah, we were looking, and I hated every minute of looking. But...
Yeah, let me share this part.
Yeah,
So when I was looking online, because I still continued for whatever reason, I decided...
Like, at what time frame?
This is, like, closer to, like, we have to move soon.
Yeah.
And so
during those 10 days,
I decided, you know what, I'm going to look in that same small town, like with the house that, the door closed. And so I found one last place, and I just sent it to Gabby. But it still wasn't our desire, because what we really wanted was, a 2 or 3 bedroom house. And so that kind of gives that away. We're not in a house, but it's way better than our apartment, praise God. But I sent her this one last place, and it was just kind of sitting on the shelf. We were still looking into other areas, the opposite direction. And time's ticking. I don't know where to go from here.
It's honestly, it was just so rushed that we can't even give, like, the best information of, like, what specific day. Let's just say, like, yeah, it was getting close. And it's funny because I remember when Dylan sent it to me, like, I think I was looking at it at that same time, too. Or I had just looked at it. Or I would just looked at it right after that. It, like, popped up. And so I saw it, too. And honestly, it was highlighted because I'm like, it just like, something about it catches my eye.
Yeah.
I think it's because I had a piece about the town. Because I knew it was in the same town as the house that we wanted. And, like, I just felt like we were supposed to go in that direction. Like, that vicinity. But I was open because I'm like, well, it's far from Dylan's job. And I know that would be a lot.
Yes.
And... And what if we were just wrong? So we were looking all over on our phones, and we actually only visited 2 other places. Yeah. So we'll share that. It was like Friday. We moved in here Thursday. Okay. So Friday, Dylan and I were talking, and he wasn't doing the best mentally. And I was like, Dylan, we need to go visit some places, like, we just need to go do something.
I almost didn't. I was like trying to stay home. Like this.
Yeah, I had to reschedule it because he was like, I'm not going. And I was like, Dylan, I don't even feel like these are the places we're supposed to go to. I don't want to go in this area because it was like an hour left of us. And I didn't feel like that was the area, but I just felt like we had to do something in faith, even if it wasn't the Lord. But as we like started moving, I felt like God was going to open doors and just like start going. If that makes sense. And so we go. Dylan actually liked both of the houses we visited. But the area was so sketchy.
Yeah, there was definitely some cons with it. Just like one house was like really nice. It was like this luxury house that was just built. And then there's all these houses surrounding it that are just like beat down, probably people who are doing drugs. I mean, from what I found out at my job, because I don't know much about Tennessee, one person told me that there's like a lot of drugs involved in that area.
Good. I'm so glad now to have that confirmation because we went to the second house and both of them I just was like, no, I don't feel like I love the houses. These houses are amazing. Like they have a yard, they're beautiful. But literally I remember looking at everyone else's house and it's like beware of dog, private property. So I'm like, there's obviously theft and break-ins all over this street.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. And so I was like, don't actually like them and want me to apply. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing
I was getting
that.
so desperate.
And then it turns out we didn't qualify anyway. So I was like, praise God. And so then we were like, okay, what do we do? Like, because what area? And we're still both wanting, I think, we didn't communicate that because we were just like, but there's no houses. Oh, I said the town. Can't
Well, anyways, let's just get to the chase. It came down to 3 places left. I'm trying to rush and make a decision on just the easiest one. And a few days later, it came down to this prayer that Gabby had, which was basically, if these 2 houses aren't the Lord, I just pray that it would, like, the door would close. You said that?
Yeah, and I could share the town because we're not in it. I don't know. I don't even know how we narrowed it down because, like, we had been looking at so many on our phones and we're just like, we don't want to look. We just need a town and that'll help us. And so I think Dylan and I were both like in the spirit and we had a conversation because we had a lot of fleshy conversations during that period. It was so rough. And so we both had a moment of like calmness and we were talking and we were just looking through together on my phone like, okay, let's like look at the houses and then like heart the ones, a couple that we feel peace about so that we're not driving to 20 different houses. We don't have time. We have like 5 days at this point. And so we narrowed it down to 3 like Dylan said. And so my prayer when Dylan went to work, and this was Monday, we had to leave by Thursday morning, noon. And so I'm like, God, like, I'm willing to go drive 3 hours to view all these houses because they were in different areas. But I don't know. I know I don't have to do that. Like, just tell me which town. Because I see one in my flesh that looks great, but I see one that's highlighted. And it was the one that we're at right now. Yeah. And Dylan felt the same way. And so we're like, but this isn't like a full-on house. And I didn't know why it looked highlighted because the pictures to me weren't that great. Like, usually places look better in the pictures and look worse in person. But it was actually the opposite for this. And so that literally happened as I'm praying Monday morning about to make the phone calls to like schedule a viewing for these places. 2 of them are closed. And I'm like, wow, there's only 1 place left. And so we ended up going. We absolutely loved it. Like, it's a townhouse, so it still feels homey. We have no upstairs or downstairs neighbor. It's a very small
And as far as a townhouse, you think a big complex, but it's literally like a few buildings. And funny enough, it's on the same road as the house that we were originally going to get.
2 minutes away.
Yeah, literally could, I don't even know, just drive right down the road and it'll be right there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're in the country. Only thing is I got to drive to work, but praise God, that's fine. But we both love this place. I don't even know what else to say. It's just crazy how it happened.
Yeah, because literally, like, when we viewed it, we just, like, I loved it. I'm like, this looks better than when I pictured it. And it's blue. And that was one of the words I had in the beginning. And we're surrounded by trees around us. And so it goes to show that if we would have never seen that house in this town, it would have never been on our radar because we didn't know this place existed. Yeah, we didn't know about this town. It was
basically just to see the town. Like when it first happened, we're thinking, oh, it's about this house. It's about this house. But then the town was highlighted, which is why we ended up looking again. And yeah, now we're here.
And we saw these too. Or I remember seeing them when we went to visit that house. I was like, oh, I'm surprised there's townhouses in this little house. But at that point, I didn't really want it, because I thought they were apartments, actually, I think. I didn't know that they were townhomes. But so, a few quick testimony points, though, before we finish is, so we viewed and toured this place on Monday, and we applied Monday night. Guess when we got accepted? Tuesday morning, which never happens. And I remember, even during that process, just praying, because I'm like, Lord, like, our security deposit is based on our credit scores. And I have great credit, but my credit history was, like, longer than Dylan's. So his was, like, in the fair range. And so I'm like, God, like, make his credit even better than it is. Like, I prayed for a very specific score. And I tell you, when I got back our credit reports, his score was the same as mine. And mine's always been higher than Dylan's. And so I was like, what? Like, that's a miracle. And so we had to pay the lowest security deposit possible, which was great because we didn't have money to pay for like a full on like 2 months rent essentially. And so like it just worked out perfect. I mean, there was more prayers, but this is already long. But we started to see, like, after waiting for 2 months and just so much patience and so much waiting and so much joy and endurance, and then all of a sudden everything went terrible and we had like a terrible like 5 days. In just like 2 days, everything came together.
Waitlist. I was at work, and it's funny, the day that we were waiting to find out, I'm at work and I just feel peaceful, and I'm like, you know what, everything's gonna work out. Oh yeah, and I can actually share this now because we're making this video. So when I was asking the Lord, I'm like, is this just my flesh like lying to myself?
Tuesday morning, right?
Yeah, and then he said, just rest in me, this place is yours. And that like changed my whole attitude that day, because I was just confident, like, we're gonna get this place. And then it happened.
Yeah.
And so it's cool too, because if you've seen our old apartment, like, we have a video, you could kind of see the interior. It's like we were paying more money, and so we saved money even being here as far as like, you know, rent, and then
except the gas, so it might even out.
Yeah,
or be a little bit more expensive.
That's true. But like even Wi-Fi, like we don't have to have Wi-Fi anymore because it comes with the place.
Yeah, they were just built. Like,
yeah,
it's just crazy. Like, so many things. Like, it to us, it felt like luxury, honestly.
Yeah.
Compared to where we were at in so many different ways, and just the peace that's here. I think there's a peace because, one, we're in the will of God. But two, honestly, like, I literally told Dylan, I'm like, the one thing I can't do is go in the city. I can't live in the city. I need to be in the country. And that's where we're at.
We're literally looking out the window right now, and it's just a landscape of trees and mountains. And
yeah.
There's actually, I won't give it away.
Even too, like, we didn't have to get a U-Haul. Our friends blessed us to borrow their trailer. His family helped us to load everything up and unload it all. And so just like everything worked out last minute. So it was just so amazing.
So we're going to have a tour video eventually. We have more videos coming out, more things that we haven't shared yet. And so we're super excited for that. It's so weird filming a video again. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe. We'll be doing more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.